There wasn't much I could say to that, though I had lots of time to think up ways I could make the old woman's life miserable with a bit of power here and there. Mind you, using magic on normals was a punishable offense, one I'd enforced myself during my time with Guild Artemis. Then again, I knew all the ways around being caught, didn't I? Food for thought. By the time Sam stopped outside my front door, I was in no mood for private time, instead hugging him and apologizing for ruining the evening. "Get some rest." He kissed my forehead with a careful kindness that had me wishing I wasn't so stubborn and locked into my temper at the moment. "I'll see you tomorrow." I let him go, despite second-guessing letting him walk away. And yes, partly because he was as very lovely to look at going as he was coming, unlocking my door and stepping inside, the wards sighing their welcome as I did. "Benjamin?" I reached for him with my mind, setting the box of cake on the table, wondering why he hadn't met me at the door, the lights out, darkness engulfing the kitchen making me pause. Hadn't I left the overhead on? I knew I'd at least not unplugged the tree in the living room. That had me annoyed all over again, because if the ravens had tampered with the string of bulbs, they'd be living outside for the duration of the holidays. I took one step forward to investigate, only to hear my doorbell ring. The sound made me jump and clasp one hand to my heart in shock, spinning me around while I caught my breath at the surprise. That had me letting out a little laugh of adrenaline-spiked nerves. It took a lot to trigger a fear response in me, but hearing my doorbell was the last thing I'd expected. It had to be Sam. Hang on, why hadn't I sensed him? I jerked the door open and looked outside, concerned now, heart beating a little fast. My step was empty. Not a soul in sight, and it took me a moment to discern the sound of running feet and giggling exiting my property and heading for the road. Kids. My jaw jumped as I slammed my door and turned into the kitchen again. I felt the 4 preteens now that I knew they were there. Followed them as they fled from the edge of my property. Surely, if their only amusement was ringing strange doorbells, their parents needed some encouragement to find them other forms of entertainment. I was already in a bad mood, put off by the evening's frustrations and slightly out of touch with my surroundings, so I suppose it's no wonder I failed to realize the truth. After all, I'd been living with normals for months now. I might have been careful with my protections, but I'd clearly become lax in my day-to-day expectations. "Mother!" Benjamin's tone had me hurrying for the living room, where I found him standing next to the last person I expected. "Hello, George," Elias Barrow said. "Thanks for letting me in."